Hello, guys. Welcome back to Courses Arsenal podcast. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. I'm back again with another episode of Arsenal transfer news now, and of course, we're going to be talking about Bissouma. In the last 24 hours, it looks like there are developments in the Bissouma deal. It looks like Arsenal are very, very confident, according to the Metro. Arsenal so confident of finishing, of completing YVES Bissouma deal, despite the fact that Everton, despite the fact that Leicester City are interested in the signature of the young player as well. So I'm going to discuss that report around YVES Bissouma and see how credible it is Arsenal really going for YVES Bissouma? Of course, I've seen Football.London have written about it. I've seen Metro have written about it, and the Daily Express have also written about it. So I decided to discuss it in this edition of Arsenal Transfer News now. We're also going to be discussing Dani Ceballos because according to Fabrizio Romano, he said Ceballos is going to go back to Real Madrid. That decision was taken days and days ago. So hang in there with me. Let us discuss the transfer news around Arsenal. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We are also going to go deeper and deeper into Stan Kroenke's selling of Arsenal. We shall discuss that at 7:30 p.m. But we shall also hit on that, what it actually means, because I've done a story about that. If you have seen it, if you have not seen the story, please check the channel. It's the first story we did today. Stan Kroenke saying he doesn't want to sell, but literally the Daily Mail are saying the club is up for sale. We're gonna discuss so many things in this episode. Do for me two things. One is getting your opinion in the comment box, and the other thing is hit the like button. Those are the only two things you've got to do for me. The rest I will do, which is of course the presentation. Not so. So let us get into it. Let us start with YVES Bissouma. Now, according to the Metro, they are saying that Arsenal are confident of finishing or completing the signature of YVES Bissouma. Now, I've seen this story in the past two or 4 hours on Football.London. I've also seen the story on the Daily Express, and I thought it was kind of more like a joke. Arsenal is always linked to so many players, but we've been linked with Bissouma for quite some time now. Now, according to AFC staff, they're saying Arsenal are confident of securing a 30 million deal for Brighton midfielder YVES Bissouma. Everton, West Ham, and Tottenham Hotspur have all made inquiries, but it appears Arsenal are in pole position to win the scrap. That is according to the exclusive star. Now, this is getting interesting, because according to AFC staff, they're saying that Arsenal are confident of securing a 30 million deal for Brighton midfielder YVES Bissouma. However much Everton, West Ham, and Tottenham Hotspur are all interested, and they have made inquiries to sign the young player. Still, they're saying that Arsenal believe they are close to winning the rest of YVES Bissouma's signature, with Mikel Arteta a huge admirer and believes the box-to-box energy he provides would make him the ideal partner for Thomas Partey. That is according to the Star again. Now, so there are big questions now. They're very big questions. And for me, the biggest question I've always had as a person is he the player for Thomas Partey? And the other is, would Brighton sell him? And what would be the price? Because and this is very low, very, very low as compared to what I had expected. I expected Brighton to ask for around 50 million or 45 million, but they're saying it could be 30 million pounds. We're gonna discuss this deal. We're gonna go into this deal and try to make sense of it. Is it a deal that's happening because Brighton are desperate for money, because we know the financial situation in which these clubs are, in which these some of these small clubs find themselves into? If the big clubs are already having issues, then you know the problem the small clubs are facing. I'm trying to reload my page. There you go. So that's the first deal, and that's the main issue in this story, in this video today. YVES Bissouma, 30 million to Arsenal. There are so many positives there, very many positives. The first thing is the money. I think it's a deal we can do financially. Financially, it's a deal you can do. 30 million for Arsenal, that shouldn't be a problem. That shouldn't be a problem. 30 million for Arsenal, that shouldn't be a problem. And also, a signing in a priority area. A box-to-box midfielder next to Thomas Partey. Now, here, according to the Metro, they're saying Arsenal are confident of securing a deal to sign Brighton midfielder YVES Bissouma. Arsenal are confident of winning the race to sign Bissouma. According to reports, Mikel Arteta is keen on strengthening the heart of Arsenal's midfield after landing Thomas Partey from Atletico Madrid last summer. According to the Daily Star, Arsenal believe they are winning the race to land Bissouma in a deal that would cost them around £30 million. The report claims that Arteta is a huge admirer of Bissouma, while Arsenal's hierarchy will press ahead of the move, even if they decide to change managers at the end of the season. Bissouma will still have 2 years remaining on his deal with Brighton this summer, but the club will be happy to cash in on him, on the player they signed for just 15 million in 2018. It's understood Tottenham, West Ham, and Everton have also made approaches for YVES Bissouma. So we have confirmed first and foremost that the price tag is 30 million. Go for this deal, Arsenal. It is the right time. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. I'm surprised. I'm very, very surprised. I thought Bissouma would cost a little bit more than this. I thought it would be around 35, 45. That would be the region. But 30 million pounds for his quality, a player like YVES Bissouma, you just got to do this. You've just got to go for this, Arsenal. This is the right time. Don't make any mistakes. Go for this deal. Come what may. This guy is super, super good. We've seen him at Brighton. We've seen him. We've seen what he can do, especially defensive-wise. I've not seen his capabilities, going forward as a player. But I know defensive-wise, he's a very, very good player, especially when it comes to game control. Let's look at some of his statistics. At FBref, his pass completion per 90 stands at 86.8. His passes attempted per 90, 46.7. That is quite high, for a midfielder. Pressures applied 16.1. Progressive ball carries 4.39. Progressive passes 3.39. Tackles per game 3.39. Blocks per game he stands at 1.89. Clearances per game he stands at 1.78. Dribbles completed per game he stands at 1.56. Interceptions per game per 90 he stands at 1.56. Shot creating actions he stands at 1.4. Area balls won he stands at 1.18. Shots total per 90 1.13. He doesn't go forward a lot. Progressive passes recorded 0.8. Touches in the penalty area 0.4. Number of expected goals and expected assists 0.06. Number of non-penalty goals he stands at 0.05. Number of assists expected stands at 0.03. So his statistics basically show you that he is more of a defensive player. He's more of a player that is going to provide this cover to the defense. Would I take him all day long? All day long. Because if you look at the players in his caliber, according to FBref, you have players like you have players like Christopher Kramer, you have players like Michael Malsa, you have players like Mario Lemina. So I'll take him. I think and Declan Rice. That is the kind of player. So if you've not seen Bissouma, try to watch a Brighton game. This lad is so exciting. His statistics, him as a player on the pitch, I think it is what Arsenal need. My only concern is having Partey and Bissouma in the same kind of midfield. I feel like it creates more of a defensive midfield, unless we are going to play something like a 4-3-3 where you have Bissouma and Partey in the midfield. Then you also have a player like Martin Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe. If we are going to play something like that, then I wouldn't have any problems. But if you're going to play a 4-2-3-1, having Bissouma and Partey literally means you can control the game, but your creativity is a little bit limited. a little bit limited. But I would take Bissouma all day long. The price tag is just perfect. And I think this is what Arsenal need to think about. Welcome to the members club. New member, thank you so much, Paul. Thank you so much. You've become a member. Thank you so much. So, guys, this is what you're talking about. You're talking about YVES Bissouma joining Arsenal for £30 million. Tell me in the comment box, is it a deal we should do as Arsenal? Because for me, I think it is a deal we must do. It's a deal we have to do. £30 million. Of course, there are a couple of cheaper deals there. I think Leicester City are very close to are leading the race to sign Somare. Somare would be another exciting player to see in that midfield. I think it would also come cheap because his deal is expiring in the summer. No, he'll have 1 year in the summer, I think. Another one would be Camavinga. Camavinga would be another exciting player to see. 19 years of age, I think. He would be another exciting one. But what Bissouma gives you, what you get in Bissouma, is a player who has played in the Premier League, first and foremost. He's played in the Premier League. That's the first advantage you're going to get in him. He's strong as a player, and he's proven that he can play in the Premier League. He has not played so much of football at the international level, and I doubt Arsenal will be playing at the international level next season. That will only be decided if we can beat Villarreal and Manchester United at the finals of the Europa League. That's what's going to be. That is when we can play Europa League. But if the Kroenkes are saying they're going to back Mikel Arteta, these are the kind of deals we have to do, because we are in a weird financial situation, and we have so many priority areas to fill in the summer. So I personally don't expect Arsenal to go for £50 million deals, £60 million deals. I don't expect that. Truly, really and truly, I don't expect that. What I really expect is Arsenal to go for upgrades that are cheap but effective. And I think Liverpool have had this kind of business model. It's been working for them. They go and sign a 45 million player in Jota, and scores for them 9 goals at the beginning of the season, and he puts them somewhere, and those goals put them somewhere, very special. If you look at the Liverpool side, they have signed Keita for around £50 million. They have signed Virgil van Dijk for £70 million. But if you look at the rest of the players, I think their goalkeeper is another expensive lad. But if you look at players like Robertson, players like Trent Alexander-Arnold, players like Joe Matip, if players like Fabinho, they're not very expensive. They're not very expensive players. So I think what Arsenal need to do is to copy that kind of business model. Getting a YVES Bissouma who is £30 million, he is class. Bissouma, for me, he moves straight into 17 out of 20 clubs in the Premier League. The only team he wouldn't move into would be, we could say City, because the way City are organized. But with Fernandinho also leaving in the summer, don't be surprised if Bissouma walks straight into City, because Fernandinho is leaving. He walks into Chelsea because he can play with N'Golo Kante, and I think his attributes as a player are better than some of those at Chelsea. So I think he would move into Chelsea. He would move into Liverpool all day long. He would move into Arsenal all day long. He moves into Tottenham all day long. However much they have Ndombele and pierre-emerick, who I think have had a tremendous season, but I also think he would move into there. Trust me, let me tell you, for facts, I think Bissouma is a top class talent. Now the report says that even if Mikel Arteta is sacked at the end of the season, which we have confirmed through Romano, that it might be a little bit hard to sack Arteta. And look, I don't like Mikel Arteta. I think he needs to leave this football club, but we shouldn't be building our club around Mikel Arteta. What if he leaves someday? What if he leaves? He's never going to be here for eternity. So I think we should build a club with structures, and then bring in a manager to manage the club, and that should be the role of Mikel. So according to the Daily Mail, they're saying that the club will go for Bissouma even if, and this is why it's interesting. We shall go for YVES Bissouma even if Mikel Arteta is sacked this season. So that means this is a project. This is probably a project run by Edu, because I don't expect Edu to leave anytime soon. People, hit the like button. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button and hit the share button and get in your comments. What do you think about YVES Bissouma? Is he the perfect partner for Thomas Partey? So I don't want to get carried away. I don't want to get so excited, because I love Bissouma as a player, and I've seen what he can do. And, it's gonna be amazing that we take his signature. One of the things I would agree with is we are the better club, we are the bigger club among all the other clubs that are interested. But my worry is Everton this season have had something interesting. They have a bigger manager, and they have a bigger project. If you look at the quality at Everton right now, they could easily attract Bissouma, because they have Alan, they have Doucouré. They could take him. They could take him. The quality there could attract him, because it looks like they're building a project. If you have seen the way they are recruiting players, it looks like they're building some kind of a project. Everton. West Ham, I don't know if they are going to get European football, but if they get European football, for example, Europa League, they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a problem. If Arsenal fail to qualify for the Europa League and Champions League, it's going to be a big problem for us to land players this season. Because we are literally fighting with Tottenham, West Ham, and Everton. These clubs are performing better than us this season. Spurs could finish in Europa League positions. West Ham has a chance to finish in Europa League positions. So they could easily attract him with Europa League. They could attract him, and the player's going to think about it. If I go to Tottenham Hotspur, I'm going to get the same amount of money I was going to get at Arsenal, because the rate at which both clubs pay is not so much different. We don't pay so high wages compared to Tottenham or Everton. So he's gonna think about it. If I go to Tottenham Hotspur, still I'll be in London. I'll be traveling every week for European, in a European competition, and I'll be a starter. Literally, Tottenham will have everything he wants. Everything. European football, a serious manager, if they get a serious manager anyway, and the money, and the starting players, alongside players like Højbjerg and Ndombele. However, I don't think Tottenham would be a threat, because they need money. They need to sell before they buy. They will need to think wisely on who comes in and who goes out. So I don't think they're going to be splashing money on Bissouma when they have Ndombele, when they have Winks, and they have pierre-emerick Højbjerg. For Everton, if they get Europa League football this season, again, they could be a threat to this deal. Because if you look at it, Arsenal won't have Europa League. Everton will have Europa League. They'll have Ancelotti, who's a big manager. A player like Bissouma, who's 22, 23 years of age, or 24, would want to work under a manager like Carlo Ancelotti. That is where things get a little bit tough and rough. So, for me, the only way Arsenal get out of this is doing this deal before the end of May. Actually, do this deal, because it's crazy. It's crazy. If we lose to Villarreal, we won't have any chances in the Europa League and Champions League. So if we do not win against Villarreal, the next big thing should be doing this deal. Because we are going to have a lot of problems with players signing for a club that is nowhere represented, not represented anywhere in Europe. Not in the Europa League, not in the Champions League. So there's a big question there, guys. There's a very, very big question there. I tip him to sign. I'm not 100% confident. I can never be 100% confident anymore with Arsenal things. I remember when I was 100% confident with Asamoah in the summer, I was disappointed. 100% disappointed, hands down. Disappointed. So I'm not confident, but I'm looking at the price tag. I'm looking at the area in which the player plays, which is a priority area. And I feel like here, Everything is in line. It's a priority deal. It's for the right money. Yeah, Arsenal could be in for it. I mean, we could be in for it. Gonna be discussing more of Danny Ceballos and Stan Kroenke's report that is that's putting the club for sale. Yeah, also gonna discuss that. We're gonna discuss that. Let's get into it. Now, again, this is from the Daily Mail. I don't really follow the Daily Mail this huge, but the last 3 or 4 stories I've done on the channel are coming from the Daily Mail. Now, according to the Daily Mail, they're saying Arsenal are for sale just days after Stan Kroenke insisted he would not entertain any offers for the club. Word on the international investment circuit is that Arsenal have effectively been on the market for about 2 years, according to the Daily Mail. I did that story in the morning, and you people were not here to react, so I need your comments and I need your thoughts on this. Arsenal has been on the market for the last 2 years. That's according to the Daily Mail. And they're saying actually that a financial consortium had approached the Kroenkes in 2019, and they had told that financial consortium that it would cost them around 1.7 billion pounds. 1.7 billion pounds to sign to buy the club. Now, we don't know what the financial consortium is. Is it Aliko Dangote? Because if you look, where I'm a little bit skeptical about Dangote is if you look at the statements he's been making around buying Arsenal, it looks like he's been so confident. One of the statements reads like, in 2021, I will buy Arsenal when I finish, when we finish the fuel project. So, my question there is, could Dangote be the financial consortium that had approached the Kroenkes in 2019? There's a big question there. But also, what does this news mean for Arsenal and Daniel Ek? Because he has come out and said he is serious. He is preparing a 1.8 billion bid. In 2019, the Kroenkes said they would entertain bids around 1.7 billion. So let's get into it. The Mail is saying the Kroenkes will be selling if they get a bid in the region of 1.7 to 2 billion. The club is valued at around 2.1 billion, according to Forbes at the moment. Daniel Ek is working with Dennis Bergkamp and Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Vieira, and Thierry Henry to prepare a 1.8 billion bid to take the Kroenkes. The Kroenkes last week said, no. We are not listening in from anyone. We are actually out of it. We don't want to sell. We are committed to Arsenal as its custodians, and we are going to be investing in the summer. I've seen pictures of Erling Haaland in an Arsenal jersey, and the mind behind that is if Arsenal is not sold by the Kroenkes, they're going to spend. I've refused to do that story of Erling Haaland to Arsenal because I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to, unless there is, of course, Raiola. I mean, Raiola is Raiola. Erling Haaland could end up at Arsenal. For him, it's all about the money. And if Kroenke wants to get out of this mess, he would. I wouldn't be surprised if Kroenke went out and signed Haaland or signed Mbappe or signed anyone, because this is the business model. This is the business. This is the mind of a businessman. How do I save my business? There is there is a lot of pressure from the fans. Hopefully, and thank God it's not industrial action. There's a lot of pressure from the fans. He wants to get away the pressure. He knows Arsenal fans have been desperate for a good transfer window for the past 10 years. So what he would do, get you Bissouma, get you Haaland, get you a right midfielder, for example. You would think of maybe Ashraf Hakimi, and Arsenal fans are like, wow, I mean, this is good. Maybe Kroenke is changing his mind, and then make you suffer for the next 5 years. You understand? So now the club being up for sale, the news for me comes out at the right time. It shows that inside there is something rotten going on in the Kroenke's management. They would want to sell, but at the same point in time, they don't want to sell. The reason they have released the statement now makes sense, because it only shows us they have said we are not selling, trying to make sure that whoever comes in with a bid that's a little bit astronomical. And I think it was the Athletic, who had written this last week, that the Kroenkes will listen to any astronomical. It will take an astronomical bid. So that means it will take a crazy bid. The bid must be crazy enough to make them, sell. Now the question is 1.8 billion crazy enough to make them sell? I don't know. I'm still asking myself. I'm still thinking about it. I don't know what astronomical bid will make them sell, but I believe as a person, and this is my belief as a person, the more the pressure goes on, the longer the deal takes, the more committed Daniel Ek is, and the more organized he will be, the higher chances of buying Arsenal will be. So I think now we know the club is up for sale. The Kroenkes have been approached before, 2 years ago. Good journalism by the Sunday Mail. I think their Sunday edition is called the Sunday Mail. Good journalism to dig up such a revelation at such a time. Now I don't know if the Kroenkes, because the media and the money owners, they're indispensable. You could find that the Kroenkes are driving the media. You could find that Ek is driving the media. So right now we are vulnerable. We are victims to any kind of to any kind of information that comes out, especially if it is more of a hypothetical, something like news that comes out at a point where you can't react. Because at this point in time, we can't react to the news. It's more like news coming in and we are vulnerable. We only have to celebrate, for any positive kind of news that comes out. But for me, Kroenke is saying that they are not selling. I think they're waiting for. They're trying to shake Daniel Ek, to try to make sure that he comes up with a deal that is around 2 billion. They want to get the best out of Arsenal before they leave. That's the truth. Because there is no way they would fail to sell Arsenal. Let me tell you this, by the way. I thought about this, and I talked about it in the last video. That the Kroenkes, why would they fail to sell? They're getting loans to run the club, first and foremost. If you remember, we have a government loan we have to pay, I think, this month. So we have started getting loans. We have been affected by COVID-19. The club has not finished in a Champions League place for the last 4 seasons. And that's why we were desperate to go to the European Super League. This season, the club could fail to finish in Europa League places. We could also fail to get any European representation anywhere. So that means they're making less and less money every year. It Arsenal, literally, financially, you would say it is a sinking boat. We have had a whole season without fans coming into the stadiums. Then that means that money from the tickets has been absolutely absent. Think about it. If the Kroenkes are here for the money and they're not here for any emotional attachment to this club, because we believe they're not attached to the club emotionally anywhere. Think about it. If they're not emotionally attached to this club, why won't they sell? Why do they stay? They're still very committed to the club as custodians, yet they are making lesser and lesser money by the season. Last season we finished 8th. This season we could finish 10th. This season we might fail. We might fail to win any silver. This season we shall need more investment from the Kroenkes than ever before. Why won't they sell at this point in time? Why won't they sell the sinking boat before they sink in it? The big question then. There's a very big question. And for me, that justifies the fact that Arsenal is up for sale. It is up for sale. However, the money, the bids that will be accepted are not yet on the table. So Daniel Ek will need to upgrade his bid to around 1.9 or 2 billion if the Kroenkes are going to listen to him. But what do you think about Kroenke selling? Do you think it's something that would happen? Because for me, I want him to sell before the summer. I want him to sell. If he sells in December, when he has not invested and has not bought players, what makes sense? We shall have the same players, the same season. I want him to sell this month, May. Sell in May, getting a new owner, an owner who will know that, yes, I do not have, Arsenal do not have a lot of money to buy Erling Haaland, but they can buy an Hudson Edward. We can buy a YVES Bissouma for 30 million. We can just get upgrades at this point in time. Probably in the next 5 years, we could be doing the big deals. So that's according to the Daily Mail. They're saying Arsenal is up for sale. I wanted to talk about this still in a little bit in detail because I spoke about it only for I think I think 4 minutes in the previous video. Now we also have a report that Daniel Ceballos. Now this is according to Fabrizio, and it reads like this. Daniel Ceballos leave Arsenal and return to Real Madrid at the end of the season. The decision was made weeks ago. Okay. What is funny is the players also come out and said he would rather play in La Liga rather than Premier League. Is he a Premier League material? I don't think so. I think he's very talented as a player, but there's some players that were never destined to play in the Premier League, and I think he's one of them. He's not a Premier League player. Ceballos you're not a Premier League player, bro. You're not a Premier League player. You've got to accept that you're not that quality. I mean, I just don't understand this kind of football. I just don't get it. But Romano anyway says that the future of the player has been decided. He's going to go back to Real Madrid, which is where he's not going to get a place, a place for first team football. I don't think he's going to play at Real Madrid. Yes, I know he's talented. He might be that kind of player that fits in the La Liga. But if I look at the quality Madrid would be loving to use, I don't think Ceballos is that kind of player. I don't see him anywhere near Zinedine Zidane's starting 11. I don't see it. There's a big question for me. Is it Arsenal? Is it Ceballos? Because whenever I've seen him this season, whenever I've seen him on the pitch, he has not delivered. There are very few occasions where I've seen Ceballos and I'm like, okay, we'll try it. The rest of the games is being very poor. An absolute abysmal. So going back to Real Madrid, he should go. And I think this is an opportunity for Arsenal. If Ceballos leaves, Torreira leaves as well, and Mohamed Elneny leave, then you have space to bring in a new player. And we've been speaking about YVES Bissouma. So probably the rumors of Ceballos leaving and Bissouma coming in could be related. There are also reports that Arsenal is going to look at giving young man Emile Smith-Rowe a new contract. We've looked at this, and they're saying that Mikel Arteta on Emile Smith-Rowe's contract. He said we are going to have that discussion. I think Emile has earned it at the right. Has earned the right to look at the situation because of his performances that he has produced. He's very engaged and wants to continue with us. That is for sure. That's according to Sky Sports. So we expect a new contract for Emile Smith-Rowe, and it has also been confirmed that even if Arsenal sign Emile Smith-Rowe on a new contract, we shall get in another attacking midfielder. We have confirmed that from Chris Whitley. We have also confirmed that Bissouma will be coming in if the deal goes through. So I need to look at some of your comments about these things, guys. I'll be live, I think, at around 7:30 with Glenn. Try to look at some of the stories around Arsenal still and recap the weekend. I need to get in some of the Arsenal fan opinions on what is going on around this football club. Hate was the first person. How are you doing, Hate? Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button, people, and thank you for tuning in always. It really means a lot. That deal is not so bad, but they could have pursued Housem Awa. This is according to Kibo. You know what? Let me tell you something funny. Kibo. We are two people. We think the same, but the problem is that we have conflicting loyalties. It's a very good deal. Bissouma is a very good player. But I would like a player like Santi Cazorla next to Thomas Partey. And Bissouma is not Santi Cazorla. If we think about Santi Cazorla, the Santi Cazorla type of player, you think about Fekir, you think about Housemewa. I would have preferred Housemewa instead of Bissouma. But the reason as to why we can't get Housemewa, there are three reasons. One, I don't think we will be paying the money Lyon want. I don't think Arsenal will be affording the 50 million pounds, over the top. The other is we do not have Champions League football, and it has been confirmed that the player Romano said it clear, crystal clear. If a club doesn't have Premier League, Champions League football, Housemewa is not going there. So we don't expect to get a war if we don't have Champions League football. So that is it. It's confirmed. Unless the club come up with something different, we are not signing Housemewa. We don't have Champions League football. We got a new member. If you want to become a member, press the join button. Thank you so much for becoming a member, Paul. Glenn says would be the perfect partner for Partey. Only one can stay back, the other can push forward. Hope he can shoot on target. Of course, Partey has problems of shooting on target, doesn't he? He's definitely the perfect partnership of Partey. Brighton will sure sell and is above and not above 30 to 40 million pounds. Yeah, I think the price range is okay. I think the price range is okay as well. Perfect partner for Thomas Partey. This is according to Timothy. Big up, bro. Big up, Timothy. How are you doing? Having both Partey and Bissouma in the midfield can work perfectly using a 4-3-3 formation or a 4-2-3-1 using both players as DM. Don't forget Partey can move forward with the ball also. Thank you so much, Olajide. Ayo says, are you sure they are going to buy? Arsenal are very good in signing players to be are very good in singing about players to be bought. Don't be surprised when another team comes and buy him apart from Arsenal. There are so many clubs interested. I'm telling you. There are so many clubs interested. Tottenham is interested, Everton is interested, and a couple of other clubs. Partey must be aggressive enough to control the midfield, but he never shoots. He's wasteful. I like his style of playing, though. Thank you so much, James. Comment received. Thank you, Arsenal. We are so lucky. We are a big club. Without our history, we would never be able to attract big players like Bissouma to our club. I think also it goes back to the history of the club and the heritage. Some players just want to play for Arsenal because we are a big club. Thank you, Arsenal. We've taken this, haven't we? Okay. The deal is not bad at all. I love the player. Look, all of us love Bissouma. All of us love the player. He's a good player. He's a good player. He's a phenomenal talent. He's coming up. He's growing up. He's a very good player. Very, very good player. He's not signing Brav. This is according to Robinson. I don't think you have the money. Look, I think 30 million pounds. When we say Arsenal do not have money, we should put it in context. The reason that's why many people say Arsenal do not have the money, and that's why I really love Fabrizio Romano, because he says Arsenal cannot afford such deals. When he's speaking about 60 million deals, he's talking about 70 million deals. Arsenal are not in position to do such deals. The context of that word is not that Arsenal cannot afford any player, because literally we have 90% players in our side from the transfer market. We don't groom players anymore. We don't groom so many players. If you look at players that have risen through our academy, it is Saka, it is Smith Rowe, it is Bellerin. Most of the players we have, from the goalkeepers to Leno, Chambers, Holding, all those players have been products of the transfer market. So we should put these things in context. Arsenal do not have money. In what context? Is the context 70, 80 million pounds? I agree. We cannot do those deals at the moment. If you're talking about 30, 45 million pounds, and you're saying Arsenal do not have that money, come on. Your facts are not right. Because if you look at our squad, Aubameyang is around 60 million pounds. Lacazette is around 50 million pounds. Partey is 45 million pounds. Think about that. And if you're talking about 30 million pounds, Gabriel Magalhaes is around 30 million euros. So only in the last summer, we have spent more than 60 million euros in the transfer market. So the context of Arsenal not having the money is for the big deals. If we had said Haaland, I agree, because Haaland is not our league. If I said Mbappe, probably we would agree. They are not our league. But if you think Arsenal do not have money to sign Bissouma, you're just a joke. You're just a joke. We should try to secure Bissouma and Hakimi in the summer. I don't see Arsenal going for Hakimi. I don't see Arsenal going Hakimi. Yes, we love the player. Fabrizio said, yeah, the club is in love with the player. Arteta loves the player. The board loves the player. But I don't see Arsenal do the Hakimi deal. The question is why? I don't see Arsenal spend £43 million on a right back. It wouldn't be wasteful, because if you want to go back to the level you want to be as Arsenal, you've got to be ruthless, both with players and signings and transfer deals. But £43 million, if you look at Arsenal signing a 30 million player in midfield, then think about it. We are going to sign a right back who's around 15 to 17 million pounds. I'm telling you for facts. I think the most expensive deal we might do this summer would be it could be around 45 million pounds or 40. Yeah. So if Bissouma comes in at 30, we could have an attacking midfielder at around 40 million pounds. Then you have backup left back who would come in probably on loan, and then we could also get a right back who would come in at around 17 or 20 million pounds. So I don't expect us not to spend more than 50 million pounds on one player in one summer. I don't expect that. Next one after Bissouma should be Lamptey. Oh, he's a real one. He's another good one. Phenomenal. Exciting to watch. But there are also the reports that Arsenal are more interested in Max Aarons rather than Tariq Lamptey. Romana said that the club is looking at both of them. Actually, the three of them: Hakimi, Lamptey, and Max Aarons. However, in the last week, it was confirmed that Arsenal are still hoping to complete the Max Aarons deal at around 30 million euros. 30 million euros, that's around 25 million pounds. So we are still, of course, there's, with rumors, we are still facing a lot of them. We live in the cold world, bro. Would you take Buendia? This is Lydia. Let me first answer Ravi Singh. Ravi, I understand we live in the COVID world, and clubs are in big financial situations. But you think we are not going to have summers? We are not going to have players move because of the COVID-19? I don't think. I think the players will move. You're a Manchester United fan, I know, and you've been here before, and I know that this season you could sign Jadon Sancho, because according to the reports coming in from Dortmund, it looks like Dortmund will sell Sancho this summer, and you guys could sign Jadon Sancho, and you have been greatly affected by COVID-19, haven't you? So would you take Buendia? Let me first answer, Lady. Ledger, would you take Buendia? You know what? Guess my answer, guys. Get my answer. Would I take Buendia? My answer is all day long. Look, this guy is, I don't want to say it's exceptional because I've only seen him for two seasons, but he's there. He's a thing, man. He's a thing. He's been the best player in the championship last season. Let me just try to look for his stats this season. Emmy. Let me try to look for his statistics, because it looks like this guy is gonna be some big thing. It's gonna be some big thing. So let me Emmy Bendia statistics this season. I don't know whether Norwich will sell him, but I hope the player will want to move. I think the player will want to move. So this season, the 2020-2021 season, he has played 38 games. He has scored 14 times and assisted 16 times. Literally, he has directly engaged in 30 goals in 38 games. Wow, what a player. What a player. And you ask me if I would take him all day long. I would take him all day long. His numbers are just there. And remember last season in the Premier League, he created 88 chances, goal scoring opportunities, 88. So I think he's just that kind of player Arsenal need. That kind of Arsenal player that Arsenal need. Will we sign him? I don't know. Romano said that we have approached his agents and we have had some talks with them. So let's hope in the summer things actually get a little bit better, than they are right now. You still haven't paid Pate money. What are you saying? What are you saying? Arsenal have to pay 150 million worth of money on their past transfers. So I ain't joking, bruv. Your statistics are not right, Ravin. Your statistics are not right. The Pate deal was a release clause. We triggered a release clause, and it is Kroenke that paid that money. I know we still have some money some dates to pay in regards to the past transfers. You think about players like Pepe and Stan, but for the Thomas Partey money, that money was not to be paid in installments. So the facts, your facts are not right there. What the heck are you guys talking about? This is we were talking about Bissouma. I mean, so much has been going on in the show. You just late, bro. Okay, Bissouma did laugh at us. I know. He's been criticized for that, though. He's been criticized for that. Manchester United, as in the league, they get paid crazy sponsorship money. We have qualified for Champions League, and we have access to move on. If you've looked at if you looked at the list of the most the richest clubs, the top 10 rich clubs in the world, Arsenal is there. Arsenal is there. So, does Arsenal have the money? We are not broke. That's what I can say. We are not broke. Thanks everybody for tuning in. At this point in time, I'll have to say goodbye, and I'll speak to you at exactly 7:30 p.m. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Thanks everybody for subscribing. We reached 20,000 subscribers, but I want us to go to until 50,000 subscribers before January. Why couldn't we sign Awa from Lyon? What's the matter about the deal, bro? I'm Arsenal fan and I love Arsenal so much. Like I told you, with the House Samoa deal, it is either you have Champions League football or you can't sign him. Roman has already confirmed, and we can't go back. We can't go back there. So if we do not have Champions League football, we can't sign the player. So that is it. And the money Lyon want, I don't think Arsenal will pay. I don't think Arsenal will pay the money Lyon want. So that is it, bro. That's it, bro. Hit the like button, people. Hit the like button. Make sure before you log out, you've hit the like button. Make sure before you log out, you've subscribed to the channel as well. And I'll speak to you at exactly 7:30 p.m. with my show and Glenn.